Hi, this is Linda Beatty from Linda Beatty's Life Coaching and Counseling, and I want to talk to you today about self-protection, healthy versus unhealthy self-protection. And we're going to start off by talking about what self-protection is and what trauma victims do unhealthily to self-protect when they either don't know they have trauma, or they're not aware of their trauma, or they haven't been diagnosed yet with PTSD or C-PTSD. So some of the unhealthy ways we can cope with it are isolation. Isolate yourself from anything that can impact you. And that's a way to self-protect, an unhealthy way, but it's a way. Another way we self-protect is we wall ourselves up. We put walls up that other people, when they first try to get to know us, will probably notice right away. And as they continue, we still have these walls up. And what we don't understand is the walls not only keep out the bad, but they also keep out the good. So you're limiting yourself from good interaction as well as bad. But walls are a very common way trauma victims keep themselves safe. Another unhealthy way we can keep ourselves safe is to go on the attack before someone can attack or reject us. So we will push a person away before they can get close to us. We will start a fight before they can become a friend. We will put something there that makes the person want to run the other way. We may not even know we're doing this sometimes, but it's a very common way survivors will kind of self-sabotage. And self-sabotage is another way. That is part of self-sabotage, actually, is we create what we think is going to happen. So if you think someone's going to reject you, you reject them before they can reject you. Or you cause something to happen where they have to reject you. And then, see, I knew they were going to reject me. So that's unhealthy ways that we self-protect. Some of the ways that we can turn that around and start healthily self-protecting is when we get to know people, we can go slow. Yes, going slow is actually a healthy way to get to know somebody, because you can know what their issues are. You can know whether they're trustworthy or not, whether they gossip or not, whether they have a good reaction to something you share with them. You can share something minor with them and they may have a really bad reaction to it. So you can work on maybe telling them, hey, that reaction really didn't sit well with me, and they may go, well, too bad. Then that's not a person you want to get to know further. So going slow has a lot of benefits. So if you're getting to know someone, go slow at the beginning and get to know who they are as a person first. This with the exclusion of counselors, because that is a professional endeavor. That's a little bit different. Another way you can healthily self-protect is you can try to always know if you're walking into a situation that may trigger you. To know your triggers is crucial. So if you know what your triggers are and you're walking into a situation where you know you might get triggered, you can kind of prepare yourself. Okay, this trigger when I was young was because A, B, C. Now I'm walking into a different situation. It may trigger that, but it's not going to be like that. It's not the same safety measure. I will be safe in this situation, and I know how to get out of it if I need to. So if I feel that twinge of a trigger, I can just do my breathing and understand that this was coming and it's okay. So knowing your triggers is a really, really important part of healthy self-protection. Knowing what people are triggering and not triggering is important as well. And that's part of getting to know people slow. Okay? another way you can self-protect is, and this is the most crucial way that you can healthily self-protect, and I'm going to repeat it, the most healthy way you can self-protect: healthy, strong boundaries. Boundaries are crucial to self-protection. And when we were young, if we had trauma when we were young, we probably didn't learn boundaries. We weren't taught boundaries. We weren't taught how to have our own boundaries, because the people who were traumatizing us didn't want us to have boundaries. They wanted us to just be nice to everybody, to let the trauma happen, to not fight back, all of the things that come along with it. So having healthy boundaries and learning how to build healthy boundaries can be very, very important to self-protecting. How do we build healthy boundaries? Well, there's all kinds of things out there. There's good books on boundaries. There's a great book titled just Boundaries, and it's got boundaries for adults, for teens, for kids. So that's a really great one. And building boundaries means you've got to decide what you're willing to tolerate and what you're willing to not. And that boundary is like a line in the sand saying, if you cross this boundary, then I am going to stop. I'm going to let you know you crossed my boundary. I'm going to give you a warning. I'm going to let you know what's going to happen if you cross that boundary again. And then if you do cross that boundary again, I'm probably going to have to remove you from a relationship in my life. You're not going to be an active part of my life if you regularly cross boundaries. You just can't have it. It's not safe. It's not healthy. So creating and keeping and having consequences for your boundaries is very important to self-protection. Another good thing you can do with self-protection is you can journal after encounters that trigger you or upset you. Kind of like a mini way to debrief yourself. And by doing this, you are keeping a record of who triggers you, what upsets you, what situations make you feel unsafe and not good. You know, it may be a store, it may be an institution, it may be, it could be all sorts of things. But by writing it down and making an account of it, you can not only get to know what your triggers and upsets are, but you can also know how to prepare yourself next time. And you can also know what people may have a pattern of being unsafe in your life just by journaling afterwards. So that's another good way to keep a log and do further research on self-protection and how and what you need to self-protect against. So lots of ways that we healthily can self-protect, and there are a ton more of unhealthy ways we self-protect that I didn't even touch on. But if you're doing something unhealthy to self-protect, it's causing a disruption in your life. It's causing something good to be blocked out of your life, as well as the bad. So really look through the ways you self-protect. Ask people how they experience you. That's a great way to know how you self-protect. Ask people how they experience you. If people say they experience you like a brick wall, that's going to tell you probably got walls up. If they experience you as combative or always having a problem with someone, that may mean that you get them before they get you, or you reject before they reject you. So asking people how they experience you is a great way to learn your unhealthy self-protection. Okay? So if you're having trouble with self-protection or anything else, please contact me, Linda Vitti, at Linda Vitti's Life Coaching and Counseling. And know yourself, know your triggers, know your self-protection. Contact me, find me on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, message me. I will write you back. Find me on TikTok, and we will see you next time. Okay, guys? I care about you. I want to hear from you.